Think of being enlightened. You've heard me talking about enlightenment ad nauseum over the years. Whatever you imagine enlightenment to be, think about that. Notice that that's concept and imagination. That's what that is. Those concepts and those images are preventing you from becoming enlightened. You want to get as close to enlightenment as possible? Take out your hand, put it in front of your face, and look at it and realize that this is actual. And while you're looking at this hand and you're sensing its reality, its realness, its actuality, that is enlightenment. You're looking at enlightenment right here in your hand. I'm not kidding. All of your ideas and theories and philosophy about enlightenment, that's not enlightenment. That's bullshit. This is enlightenment right here. So if you want to become enlightened, just sit and look at your hand for many, many, many hours, for hundreds and thousands of hours. Just sit there and looking at it. That's it, and you'll become enlightened. Now, you'll say, but Leo, how is looking at my hand going to make me enlightened? I mean, the hand is just a hand. Again, that's because you haven't actually gone deep into this work. You haven't even spent 5 minutes just looking at your hand without thinking about it. Something very profound happens when you just do this exercise for hundreds and thousands of hours. What you see here will change. And now, of course, by that, don't get the wrong idea. I don't mean that you're going to be looking at this hand and then all of a sudden it's going to turn into a tentacle. That's not what I mean. I mean that you'll still basically see the same shape, the same colors here, but again, your context will change. This hand will get recontextualized into something else than a human hand. And what that thing is can't be explained to you because it has no name and it has no verbal description. But when you get it, you'll get it. And until then, you'll be lost and you'll be confused and you'll not understand what I'm talking about, right? But the more you sit here, the more you look at it, and the more you start to feel that, wait a minute, this hand, this is a weird thing. Why is it here? What is this hand? Why does it exist? I mean, sure, it's a hand, but that doesn't say anything about it. What is it? What's it made out of, really? Like, what is this thing? And why is it here? How come it exists? And the more you get conscious of that, the more you become conscious of that, right now, the closer you're getting to enlightenment. That feeling of realness is what you're going with when you're doing any kind of consciousness work or spiritual practice. That's it. It's extremely simple. It's so simple that nobody wants to do it. It's so simple that it seems like it won't lead anywhere. It's so simple it seems like it's a waste of time. So nobody does it. And so nobody discovers what's right there in front of their face. Think about evolution. Whatever your ideas and opinions about evolution are, whether you believe in it or not, think about that. And again, notice that that's all concept and imagination. Now take out your hand, look at your hand again. That's actuality. Evolution, that's imagination. Now think about science and reason and logic. Think about proof and evidence. All of that is concept and imagination. Take out your hand again, put it in front of your face, and notice that this is actual right here. You cannot get more direct than this right here to reality. Science, reason, logic, proofs, and evidence, all of that, that is further removed from reality than this hand right here. Are you getting this? There is no proof or evidence or logic for this hand being here. This hand is prior to all of that. You getting this? There is no proof for this hand other than you looking at this hand. And really, even that is saying too much. There's not a you looking at this hand, and this thing is not really a hand if you look at it long enough. And there's actually no looking happening either. So be careful about that. You think that I'm here, this is a hand, this is a human body, a biological organism that was born, and that I am looking at this hand. That is all imagination and concept. None of that is actually true. None of that is actual. What is actual here? Is this. But what is this? That's what you got to sit with. That's what you got to sit with. Don't let your mind come in there and start thinking a bunch of thoughts. That's taking you into imagination land. All right, now think of the universe, the entire universe, all the galaxies and stars and the Milky Way and all the planets that are out there and aliens and shit that live out there and black holes and the Big Bang and all of that. Think of all that. And notice what that is. That's concept and imagination. Pull out your hand again. Ground yourself in actuality. This is actual. All that other stuff, that's imagination. See? Notice that even if you're just sitting here, if you're sitting on your couch, minding your own business, watching some YouTube videos, in the back of your mind, you still have this sort of orienting frame. This is the context in which you are putting yourself. You are putting yourself into this context, this orienting frame of, I'm sitting on a round planet, which is orbiting a sun, which is part of a Milky Way, which is part of a Big Bang, part of the entire universe. Somewhere in the back of your mind, that context is there. That's contextualizing this experience that you're having right now. So realize that all of that is concept and imagination. That's not actual. What's actual is this raw experience right now. What is this raw experience right now of this room that you're in? When you strip it of all context, including the context that this is occurring within a universe, in some Milky Way galaxy, in some solar system, on some giant rock orbiting the sun. When you remove all that context, what do you got left? When you remove the context that you were born, what do you got left? When you remove the context that you're a human being, what do you have left? The problem with this is it's a lot harder to actually do this than it sounds. You're not going to be able to just sit there for 5 minutes and strip your mind of all of its context. And this is the only thing that's preventing you from enlightenment, is that this very stubborn context is there, and it feels so real that you're not classifying this context as concept or imagination. To you, it feels like reality.